students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope everybody is enjoying these last few days of 2023, and I hope everyone is excited about the upcoming year, 2024. Happy New Year to all of you who are and will be celebrating quite soon. In this class, everybody, IELTS Speaking Part 2, the cue card, the long part, we are going to be looking at a cue card that asks questions about places to meet people. So it's a location here. This material, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are our websites. They power these live classes. This is our general IELTS website here with the green background. You can click the big red button that's just above my head there to join the premium version of our course. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. For the academic IELTS, it's the blue background. And again, you can click that big red button that's there. And you will be on your way to learning great English and improving your IELTS scores. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We are an IDP affiliate, a British Council partner, an IELTS test registration center, and I'm a British Council agent. You are in excellent hands with us. We help thousands of students to succeed on IELTS every single month. Welcome, Phuong. Hi, Anna. Hi, Juan, Romelia. Nice to see many of our members in the class, even though I'm sure many of you are getting ready for some New Year's parties and celebrations as we wrap up 2023. Students, on the websites, you can use this discount code from this class, P29, for a 10% discount. Download our apps, Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help, from your app stores. Link them to the websites. Follow us on Instagram for vocabulary and tips and also schedules for these live classes, IELTS_AE-help and GIELTS help. And if you'd like to purchase the software directly through YouTube, you can do that through the YouTube store and Shopify. Just make sure to send me an email so that I can activate your account when you make a purchase through Shopify. Students, lots and lots of free blogs on the websites for Speaking Part 2 for cue card sample band 9 answers. There's one that's called Speaking Part 2 Memorable Place. Here is the link for that blog. Check it out. Welcome on board, Anahita. Good to have you in the class. For emails, to get in touch with me, send your email to adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. Okay, students, so schedule for the changing of the year, today until January 6th. We've got Speaking Part 2 right now, and then as I've been saying and I posted yesterday, we'll have Speaking Part 3 through the website. We'll do a live stream today, so the next class in about 2 hours will be through the website. I will show you where a little bit later in the class when we start speaking with our viewers. Last day to the 3rd, there's no class. Usually we do not have classes Sunday to Wednesday. So the next class after the Speaking Part 3 class will be on the 4th of January, which will be a Speaking Part 1 right here on YouTube at 15 o'clock Universal Standard Time. And then we'll have a full week of classes Thursday, Friday, Saturday. For Speaking Part 2, everyone, we posted a really good video that teaches you strategies on talking about people, places, objects, events, and ideas, the different types of Speaking Part 2 topics. Definitely check out this video when you have the chance. It is directly related to today's class. So be sure to take a look. In that video, one of the candidates talks about a place that they had visited outside of their city, if I'm not mistaken. So check that out. Okay. All right. Let's get into our cue card, everybody. I want to finish the year strong with lots of opportunities for you to speak. So we will go through the cue card in a nice, steady kind of pace, giving you some strategies and tips on how to respond to this question or these questions. And then I want to have you responding and giving your own answers as much as possible. So let's finish strong. Sounds good, everybody? Yes? All right, interact with me, talk to me. So here's the cue card. For those of you who are new to IELTS, the speaking section is a 12 to 15 minute interview, and you will have 3 parts. The first part is some questions on a general topic like your hobbies or sports that you play. And then part 2 is a set of questions on one specific topic where you just get to talk for 1 to 2 minutes without stopping. The examiner will say after part 1, that is the end of part 1. We will now continue with part 2. For this part, I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to read these, think about your answers. Then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. You have some note paper there and your pencil. You can take notes in the 1 minute preparation time if you wish. Is that clear? You should say yes. Absolutely. I practiced for this. Then the examiner will say, talk about where it is good to meet new people. This was actually a question a while ago on one of the IELTS exams. And then they show you the questions and they go, your 1 minute preparation time begins now. Okay, and then you have exactly 60 seconds to prepare your answer. They are looking at their watch or their timer to give you that full 60 seconds. And the 60 seconds feels like it goes by quite quickly, which it does. But as long as you're using good strategies, that is the key. So there are multiple steps, and I'm going to list them right now, just step 1, step 2, step 3. So step 1, read the questions carefully. Identify the type, whether it's a person, place, object, idea, or event, and the grammar, meaning the tense, present, past, future. What kind of a tense are you using here, right? Are you using present perfect? And then step 2, is to come up with at least 2 to 3 good ideas to choose from. Should be easy to talk about. Lots of content and somewhat original. Okay. And then step 3 is take some useful notes. Thinking about the question type and the questions. Okay. And then step 4 is think about your first sentence. Use the topic question to make the first sentence. Okay. All right. Now, many of our members are quite familiar with these steps. We go through these steps every time we tackle a cue card in the week. you have 1 minute, and sometimes, you know, some candidates fairly say, well, 1 minute is not enough time. I just can't do all of that. I can't read the question carefully twice and come up with 2-3 good ideas, write a whole bunch of notes, and come up with my first sentence all in 1 minute. It's too much for me. Okay, fair enough. Then which of these 4 steps do you think is the most important? Which one should you always focus on? Okay, so step 1, where you read the question carefully, identify the type. Step 2, where you come up with at least 2 to 3 good ideas. Step 3, take some useful notes. Or step 4, think about your first sentence. Which one do you think is the most important step? Anna says, I think it's step 1 and 2. All right, Anna, what do you think, Romelia? Romelia says, I think it's step 3. Anna and Phuong say, I think it's step 1. All right. Any other opinions? Juan, what do you think? Okay. In my opinion, the most important step for Part 2 cue card is this one right here. All right, step 2. Okay, I mean, you have to read the question. So step 1 is kind of a tricky one. You have to read the question, right? And I really hope that when you read the word where, you realize that it's a place you're talking about. So where is a place to meet good people? So step 1 and step 2, you're right. And it's kind of a combination, and it's hard to ignore step 1. But the most attention, where you really need to just do it, is step 2. You want to come up with at least 2 to 3 good ideas. Coming up with these good ideas is essential, not only to answer the cue card effectively with minimum mistakes, with lots of good information, but it's also very crucial for part 3. Okay. Okay, so to generate ideas. So for practice purposes, let's start with that. So even before we read all of the other questions, give me some ideas. So I'd like to see 2 to 3 ideas come out of each person, each of our members. By the way, everybody, this is a members chat class, and if you want to become a member, you just need to click the join button next to the subscribe button. So Anna says a local park, right? So step 2 is generate at least 2 to 3 good ideas. One of the most common mistakes that leads to low scores in the speaking section is candidates think of one answer, like a coffee shop, and then that's all that's in their head is a coffee shop. They don't think of any other idea. It's not original. They keep kind of repeating the same information. Oh, my local coffee shop is a great place to meet new people. Lots of people go there to buy coffee. I can meet my friends there for lunch, and sometimes I meet new people while I'm buying my coffee. And then they just kind of get stuck in this coffee shop, and no other ideas are in their head. And they maybe don't get a very good score because the IELTS examiner hears the coffee shop from 4 out of 5 candidates, and the information is repetitive. Not to say that you can't get a good score, maybe you can, but you want to think about 2 or 3 other options. There might be some better ideas that are more original, have better content, right? So generate at least 2 to 3 good ideas. Let's see what you have. So Anna says a local park. Anna says the beach. Okay. Phuong says the library. I don't know Phuong. I've never really met people at a library. Golf club. Yeah, if you're into golf. Here I would definitely choose a situation that is familiar. So I wouldn't make up a situation here. Be careful with that, students. So making up answers is okay, but for this kind of a question, I wouldn't recommend it. I'm sure that we all go to at least a couple places where we meet new people. Okay, Juan, very good. I was wondering when somebody was going to say that. School, right? So college, university, for sure, are great places to meet people. Anahita says Japan or China. Okay. Epsilonator says shopping mall. Cinema hall. Sure. I don't really meet people at cinemas. I go to a cinema with people. But Epsilonator says, my bad, they are not places to meet people. I don't know, Epsilonator, shopping mall. I've met people before in my life, for sure. All right. And I think Juan said gym as well, right? Where you work out. Okay. So, sure. Think outside the box, everybody. There's one place that Romelia says, you skipped my ideas. Romelia says, at the New Year party in the city center. Okay, nice opportunity to use descriptive language for the place, the festive ornaments, the people. Okay, so city center or city square, sure. New Year party is more of an event. It's like, when is it a good time to meet new people? So careful with that, Romelia. We could consider the New Year party a location, but it's almost more of an event of when, right? So, all right. Juan says, how about a pub? Is that too common, or a bar? Pub or a bar? No, I think that's fair. Okay. Pub, bar. Okay. How about a drop-in sports club? Right? And there's still one that's really missing, and I want you to really keep an open mind. And this is, you know, like where context is important. Anahita says the airport. Sure. Yeah, I think the airport's a great idea, Anahita. Very good, Phuong. That's what I was looking for. In an online class. Okay. So YouTube. Look at all of you who have met new friends and lovely people through these live classes, right? So online class, YouTube, social media. The virtual world is a location these days as well, where we meet people, right? So we've got a pretty good list here, everybody. Local beach or local park, library, golf club, college, university, Japan, China, shopping mall, cinema hall, gym, city square, pub, bar, drop-in sports club, airport, online class, YouTube, social media. Juan says, how about grocery stores? I've only seen it on TV. Yeah, that's possible. Okay, Epsilonator says, how about online video game? Yeah. Sure. Okay, so what you should do when you are at home and you're practicing for speaking part 2 is you should kind of rank order these from your opinion of best to least. So you should think about, okay, if I were to get this question, so what would be my number 1 choice, my number 2 choice, my number 3 choice, and why, right? Okay, put them in order. and give it a shot. Okay. So that's going to be different for different people. Some people, for example, maybe Epsilinator likes playing online video games and has lots of experience meeting new people in online video games. Someone else, maybe Anahita, does not play a lot of online video games and does not have a lot of experience meeting new people in online video games. So for Epsilinator, it makes sense to put this high on the list. For Anahita, it makes sense to put that low on the list. So, you know, online video games could be maybe number 3 for some people. For others, it might be number 7 or 8 in this list, right? Or might be a lot lower down. If somebody does a lot of traveling, they might put airport as number 2. And if I'm not mistaken, Anahita, your dad has arrived or is arriving, and you will likely take a trip to the airport, right? And maybe you'll meet some new people there while you're waiting for your dad. So that gives you context, right? It's happened just recently. You were at the airport, you were waiting for your father's flight to arrive, and you've met a couple of lovely people in the waiting area while waiting for the plane to land, right? Romelia, absolutely, you should go with a familiar topic. So you want to put these in order, right? Maybe Juan is a gym buff and goes to the gym regularly and meets people there all the time. So his local gym is choice number 1, right? Maybe Phuong likes to party on the weekends and go out for a high-class cocktail with her girlfriends. So maybe she would say, okay, it's not the most original, but I know I can talk lots about it. So I'm going to put the pub or dance club as number 4, right? So you want to put these in order, and then you want to try. So it's only 2 minutes, right? And when you're practicing at home, definitely try with 3, 4, 5 different topics, okay? So try to answer, or not even try, but do answer the same cue card with 4 to 5 different choices. Why do I say that? Well, I've discovered through lots of IELTS teaching that people often surprise themselves. They think that, you know, they can speak really well for this cue card when they talk about a gym, and then they try it and they're like, that was okay. And then they try airport, which was their number 2, and they realize, wow, that was way better. I did a much better job when I actually talked about the airport for this cue card. So answer the cue card with 4 to 5 different choices and discover which kinds of ideas and topics are the best for you. Okay? Super important. It's a really, really good exercise to do for these cue cards. So when you get to your actual IELTS exam, you get very clever, quick, and effective at thinking of multiple ideas, choosing the one that works really well for you, and then giving a great answer. That can make an astounding difference in your overall performance in both part 2 and part 3. Does that make sense? Anahita says, my dad has arrived. So Anahita, you were recently, did you go to the airport to meet him? Were you in the waiting room? Did you talk to somebody while you were at the airport waiting for your dad to arrive? There are a lot of interesting reasons why the airport could be a good place, because I know, for example, Anahita, that your ethnicity as Afghani, and when you're waiting for an airplane, there are often people of the same nationality on that flight. So family members are waiting for them who are also of the same cultural background, and it's easy to strike up a conversation with them because they're in the waiting area and you hear a familiar language, right? Juan says, yes, that does. It's a great exercise. Okay. Absolutely. Everybody watching, this is a fantastic way to make sure that you get the best score possible. And when you feel confident about making good choices for part 2, it's just going to really help your overall attitude for the speaking as well, right? Keep that in mind. When you feel confident in your part 2 strategy, it will greatly help your overall positive attitude towards the speaking section of the test. Okay? So it's a great exercise. All right. The more I talk about it, the more I like it. So I'm going to go with airport for this one. And so before I do anything, let's go back to these 4 steps, right? So remember I said, okay, step 1, read the question. Step 2, come up with at least 2 to 3 good ideas. Step 3, take some useful notes. Step 4, think about your first sentence. All right, so let's say that I'm still in the opinion that that's just too much strategy, too much work for 1 minute. I can't do it. By the way, students, you can if you practice. But let's just say I don't believe Adrian. I don't think I can do all 4 of these steps. I think I can do maybe 2 of these steps. What's the second most important? So you came up with 2 to 3 good ideas. I mean, yeah, definitely read the question and kind of focus on that topic sentence. But what's the second most important step? So step 2, you're like, okay, Adrian said if I can't do it all, just focus on coming up with a few different ideas before making my choices. So I did that. Epsilonator says notes. Phuong says, we believe you. Thank you, Phuong. All right. Anna says, identify the cue card, which would be step 1, right? No. Believe it or not, everybody. Yeah, Juan, you got it. You're in my brain. You're in my mind. Step 4, I would say, is arguably the second most important step. It's weird. It's like, what? Like, we don't really even need notes? Believe it or not, I actually think step 3 is the least important. So if I had to rank order these, it would be A, B, C, D. Kind of surprising, right? You're like, I would have totally thought reading the question carefully and identifying the type is the most important. I'd like to believe that that will happen intrinsically, automatically when you practice for the IELTS. I would actually say this would be my rank order of importance. Coming up with 2 to 3 good ideas, I think is super important. And I think thinking about your first sentence is super important. So let's say that I choose to talk about an airport where it's a good place to meet new people. Sure. Now, my first sentence, right? So step 4. First sentence using the topic, question, or statement. For example, I think a great place to meet new people is the Victoria International Airport, often abbreviated as VIR, I think. It doesn't matter. So I'm using the first sentence of the question for everybody joining in. We're working on a speaking part 2 cue card. The long part, this is speaking. Make sure to speak and repeat. The question is, talk about where it is good to meet new people. That is what I use for the first sentence. And so when the examiner says, okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up, please begin speaking. then right away I say, okay, I think a great place to meet new people is the Victoria International Airport, often abbreviated as VIR. I say that because I'm going to use that later. I don't want to keep saying Victoria International Airport. It's a mouthful. Blah, 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 blah. Right? So that's why I say also known as VIR or abbreviated as VIR. Okay, now, why did I say that? So why is the first sentence so important? What do you think, everybody? Why would I say thinking about 2, 3, 4 ideas is definitely step number 1, and then choosing the best one? And then step number 2 is thinking about your first sentence is the most important for part 2. What do you think? Why would I say that? Everyone, what's the logic there? Epsilonator says it helps you evaluate your options. Epsilonator says multiple options have multiple possibilities. Not quite. There's a reason for it. Okay, so hey, it gets you speaking right away. Okay. One of the most common mistakes to date that I experienced for speaking part 2 is students just don't speak right away and the time keeps ticking. If you were to ask me, if you said, Adrian, how long does it take the average IELTS candidate to start answering the question? I would say the average IELTS candidate, you're going to be shocked, okay? And this is from doing hundreds and hundreds of mock speaking exams, okay? So I would say, based on hundreds of candidates from around the world, I would say the average candidate takes about 25 to 35 seconds to answer the topic of the cue card. This is way too slow. Okay? Some people will even take more, like 40, 45. And I'm like, you have 1 to 2 minutes. If the examiner is not patient and stops you at 1 minute, you've literally said nothing for part 2. You've used more than half of your time potentially just to answer the topic of the cue card. Okay? There are a lot of different ways that candidates kind of waste that time. One is that they get stuck. So this kind of connects to my first point, is think about 2 to 3 good ideas so you have a good idea in your head. But so often the candidate goes like this. Yeah, silence. There are a few good places to meet new people, like a coffee shop, or like a school. But now I will talk about the best place, which is to meet new people at the airport. You think it's an exaggeration, but it's actually not. Okay. I frequently hear answers like that. I will often hear where there's literally like a 10-second pause at the beginning. So the examiner says, your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking. And the candidate, being super nervous, 10 seconds later, start speaking. Okay, it's super, super, super common. Like I say, I would say that the average person takes about 25 to 35 seconds to answer the cue card topic, when really that should be answered within the first 5 to 10 seconds. Okay, so ideally, the answer is given within 5 to 10 seconds. Okay, so having that first sentence is super important because it gets you speaking right away. It helps your confidence, your fluency, and it gets you focused on the question. Okay, so having the first sentence ready gets you speaking right away, focused, and on topic. Okay, all right. So when the examiner says, okay, your time is up, please begin speaking, then you can say, I think a great place to meet new people is the Victoria International Airport, often abbreviated as VIR. This airport is located about 30 minutes from downtown Victoria, north on the highway towards the Saanich Peninsula. It is a relatively small airport on several hectares of land, with the main terminal about 4,000 square meters in size. It is a one-story building built mostly of metal and glass. It is quite modern. There is a large open waiting area for arrivals, and that is certainly a place where I have met several people in the past. A couple of those individuals have become good friends of mine over time. The reason VIR is good to socialize and network is because there is often several hours to kill while waiting for friends and family to arrive. During that time, there are also others who are bored and eager to strike up a conversation when given a chance. Not only this, but the people who are waiting often share social and cultural backgrounds. Okay, so lots and lots of fluency, right? And even though I haven't really looked at the questions on the cue card, I'm just going through the location, the attendees, the activities, the experience. And by doing that, I will most likely answer the cue card, right? So if I look at the cue card now and it says, talk about where it is good to meet new people, where is it and what does it look like? Hey, I answered that. Who goes there? Oh, I kind of started answering that as well. What activities happen there? I kind of answered that also. Why is it a good place to meet people and how does this happen? Kind of answering that as well. Domenico says, hey, Adrian, I have experience meeting people at the airport. Actually, they met me when I landed in both La Paz Airport and Los Angeles Airport, LAX. Yes, it's one of the big ones. I've been to LAX often, Domenico. Right? So when you have a good idea, and this is the magic, everybody, when you have a good idea and when you have that first sentence, you'll surprise yourself how well you can answer that part 2 cue card. Okay? So now I might include an example. So just a couple months ago, when I was waiting for my parents to arrive from Budapest, I met a lovely Hungarian family who were also waiting for their friends to land. I overheard them speaking in Hungarian and decided to strike up a conversation and decided to engage in conversation. I changed strike up because I used strike up here, so I figured I'd use a synonym for that. Engage in conversation. We actually ended up meeting them later for a restaurant, at a restaurant. Because we had such a good discussion while at the airport. Okay, so there we go. Let me go through my answer just to pick out some new vocabulary, and then I want to give you a chance to talk. And now notice how I kind of jumped through or jumped over the taking the notes and the number 1 step as well, just because I don't think it's absolutely necessary. As long as you do a really good job with step 2 and step 3 and you practice at home, you can probably get by with very little notes and have a really great answer. I find that a lot of candidates don't even look at their notes during speaking part 2. So if you're not really using your notes, then what's the use, right? Now, I'm not saying don't take notes. I think it is a good idea, and I think it's definitely a good idea to look at your notes if you've taken notes, right? But I do consider steps 2 and 4 here to be more important. Okay, so let's take a look at this. I think a great place to meet new people is the Victoria International Airport, often abbreviated as VIR. This airport is located about 30 minutes from downtown Victoria, north on the highway towards the Saanich Peninsula. It is a relatively small airport on several hectares of land. Hectare is a size of land, okay? With the main terminal about 4,000 square meters in size. It is a 1-story building, built mostly of metal and glass. It is quite modern. There is a large open waiting area for arrivals, and that is certainly a place where I have met several people in the past. A couple of those individuals have become good friends of mine over time. The reason VIR is good to socialize and network is because there is often several hours to kill. Notice this expression here, everybody. Several hours to kill. Time to kill. Okay, so this does not mean murdering another person, all right? But it means kind of like using up time that is available, okay? Which is rare these days. All right, so time to kill or killing time. It means using up excessive time. Okay, used in a different context, yes, it means murder, but in this context, it means using up excessive time. Does that make sense, everybody? Yeah, Epsilonator, of course you can join after you've cleared your test. A lot of members do. A lot of people keep coming back to continue learning English and interacting, of course. Okay, so killing time or time to kill while waiting for friends and family to arrive. During that time, there are also others who are bored and eager to strike up a conversation. Strike up a conversation means to start a conversation randomly or spontaneously. Okay? To spontaneously begin speaking with another person. Okay, eager means excited and motivated. Okay. Anahita, did you strike up a conversation while you were at the airport? Did you hear anybody speaking your local language and going, hey, I can talk to this person a little bit while I'm waiting for dad? So did you strike up a random, Domenico, did you strike up a random conversation at La Paz or Los Angeles airport? Sounds like you did from your comment. Okay. All right. So not only this, watch that. I always try to pay attention to using that correlative conjunction, right? Not only this, but also, right? Social and cultural backgrounds. Just a couple of months ago, while I was waiting for my parents to arrive from Budapest, I met a lovely Hungarian family who were also waiting for their friends to land. I overheard them speaking. When you're listening to somebody's conversation, what is that called, everybody? There's a special word for that. When you're kind of like, what are they saying? That sounds interesting. Let me just sneak a little heary poo and see what they're talking about. Epsilonator, that was really fast. Very good. Yeah, so to over here and listen into another's speech or discussion. It's called eavesdropping. Yes. So when you're using good vocabulary like that, your mark will definitely go up. So we're human. We've all done it. If you say that you've never done it, you lie. We've all eavesdropped into conversations before. It's part of our human nature. So I was eavesdropping in on my friend's conversation because I heard her use my name. Okay, so there's an example sentence for you. All right, I was eavesdropping in. You eavesdrop in on. It's a tricky preposition there for eavesdropping. So pay attention to that. I was eavesdropping in on my. It's like I was eavesdropping in on my friend's conversation because I heard her use my name. You've done it. You know you have. Okay. So that's what it sounds like. Students, I want you to practice these. So I have a feeling that a lot of our members, while listening to me and watching this, were thinking of, yeah, I've got a couple of good ideas here. So let's do that. Let's take some volunteers to practice this part 2, and I love how so many of you are here with me on the last few days of the New Year's. That's fantastic. To volunteer for speaking, everybody, here are the steps. By the way, I am looking for a couple of new moderators for the channel, so if you want to be a channel moderator, let me know. Epsilinator, you said, can we keep coming back after we finished IELTS? Of course you can, and you might, if you want to be here regularly, you might want to be a channel moderator. Romelia, you totally can be. I'm still waiting for that email so we can set up a Zoom session and just discuss how to do it. Okay, what are the tasks and responsibilities? Okay, let's go through the speaking here. Domenico says, I will send you an email. Awesome, Domenico. Okay, so let's do it. Let's go to aehelp.com. Okay. And if you're a moderator, you don't have to be here every class. Like, look at what Chen just did. Chen was gone for a while, and then recently he just came back, and he's like, hey. Log into your My Student account. Click on Student Partner Speaking. Enable your microphone in the browser. Students, I will show you this, and you can do this for free, everyone. So here is the website. If you want to join the premium version, click on the big red button. It is a one-time payment for lifetime access. When you join the premium version, you will have access to the computer-based practice exams, the full online course. You will have access to all of the practice exams, study plans that you can download. You will have over 100 lesson videos for all of the sections. And you will have all of the audio CDs for the listening, reading, and speaking. And you have the student partner speaking, which is here. That's what we're going to use now. So let's click on that. By the way, students, after this class, we're going to be using the live class on the website. So the next live class is not on YouTube, it's on the website. You'll be able to click that join live class button in 1 hour and it will pop up the class. Okay. All right. Student partner speaking. I accept and start speaking. Okay. Awesome. We've already got a great list of students in here. So we've got Bright, AJ, Ivan, Vlad, Anna, Phuong, Manikanta. I'm looking for premium students and channel members for sure. Ivan, I don't think we've heard from you in a while. Phuong, I don't think we've heard from you in a while either. So let's start with Ivan today. By the way you volunteer, everybody, is find me and click the blue envelope. You'll find me as Master, all big letters. It's not because I'm the master of English or anything like that. It's because I'm the master controller on the interface. But this interface is for all of you to use with each other. Ivan, are you ready? Let's do this.
How are you?
Hi, Ivan. I am good. How are you doing? How are you feeling on the last day or two of the year?
Same as yesterday. I don't celebrate, so it's just regular Sunday tomorrow.
Another day on a speck of dust flying around a big ball of fire we call the sun, right?
Yes, sort of.
We're all there with you, all 8 billion of us. All right, Ivan. So you've been following the class, right, with this
Yes.
part 2? Yeah? Okay, then let me start with this question. When you look at this cue card and it says, talk about where it is good to meet new people, and you think, okay, Adrian said the most important is just to think about 2 or 3 choices. What are the 2 or 3 choices that come to mind for you with this topic?
University or expat center or something like that, place where a lot of people go.
Okay, so let me just backtrack here. So you said choice 1 is university, right?
Yes.
Okay, your choice two. What was it?
Exposition center.
Expo Center?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And what's your choice three?
Two is okay.
See, it's not though. I
Mm.
would, so I always say 2 to 3, but I should probably actually say
But
3 to 4. I
usually when I think about that, uh, two or three options, when I find one which I satisfied, I just pick it. I don't think. I don't continue to think about options. I just
Yeah,
pick
yeah,
first
and
okay option.
a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that, and very often I find that people struggle when they do it that way. They think they got it, but then they don't do so well. And here, you've got university, you've got expo center, and you've really only got two choices here, right? And if I were in the IELTS and I had this question, I would not be overly satisfied with these two choices if I'm in your shoes. You're different, you're you, but I personally would not be. And I'll tell you why, Ivan. University might be very common, right? So, which is not the end of the world, but if somebody was in the IELTS exam before you and they talked about meeting people at university, and they did a really good job, like let's say they had really good English, so they spoke at like a band 8 band 9 level, and then you walk in right after and you're also talking about the university or college, they're very similar topics, right? um, it might not be to your advantage because it's extremely difficult for the examiner not to compare you to the last person. So you might be lucky, and maybe the person before you talked about a university and they were a band 4, so you sound really great, or you might not. But either way, it's not original. Do you see where I'm going with this, Ivan? So
Yes.
there's a chance that you're being compared, and it's not going to work to your advantage. And if
Well,
the examiner hears the same answer like for the fifth or sixth time, they're human, and it's hard to not start to get bored or be like, okay, it's a band 6-5, like to kind of become robotic. So I would be a little bit careful with university because it does sound like it would be a very common one, and the expo center for me sounds a little bit challenging to talk about.
mm,
So if I'm in the IELTS exam and I had this cue card and I had these two ideas, I personally would give it an extra 10-20 seconds to see if I can maybe come up with at least one or two more ideas that could just be a bit better, like a drop-in sports club. Do you play sports, Ivan?
I used to play chess.
You used to play chess. Were you ever a member of a chess club or a chess
Sort of.
team? Did you
I
ever?
I played chess professionally at some level
Okay, so
when
did
I
you?
was at school.
Okay, great. So did you go to like chess competitions then?
Yes.
Was there a specific location where these chess competitions were held?
In the same place. Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
It's a sport complex, and there were a specific building for chess competition.
okay. So now this question isn't asking where you met or where you will meet. It's a general question, right? Where it's a great place to meet people. Did you meet people in that sports complex while you were doing these chess competitions?
Yes, a lot of people, but we usually didn't talk with strangers. We just talk with each other, our team,
Okay,
our chess team.
but you still met those people, right? In that place, and you had good conversations with them. So regardless, I might opt for something like that. So I think if I'm your examiner and you come in and you give me a relatively good response talking about this sports complex and these chess tournaments and chess competitions where you met with fellow teammates and sometimes met some opponents that you talked with after the match briefly. I think that because you share a common hobby, you share a common interest, there are lots of different strategies, famous chess moves to discuss, finishes, opens, closes, etc. Right? I'm into chess a little bit myself. I think you would probably do a lot better than if you spoke about university or the expo center. Just my opinion, but I think you might do better. So I would maybe go with that one, right? So that's kind of how I would approach this. Does that make sense, Ivan?
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay, so definitely try to think of, I like I say, I always say 2 to 3, but really you should be thinking about 3 to 4, especially if you're not really satisfied with your first two choices. Okay. All right. But anyway, I'll leave it up to you. So I will start you off. You choose whatever you'd like, and I will give you feedback after. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. So that is the end of part 1. We will now continue with part 2. For this part, I will ask you, or I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to read these, think about your answers, and then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. Okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
I think a great place to meet new people is an expo center. In my city, it's called UZ Expo Center, and it is conveniently located not far away from underground station, and it consists of 5 huge pavilions. A lot of people go there when there are different events. For example, company representatives, businessmen, and different visitors such as students or regular citizens who go there for entertainment purposes. And different activities happen there. For example, presentations of new technologies, goods or services. Also, different fairs such as higher education fair. Once I participated myself in presentation of a software when I was junior year student at university in 2013, more than 10 years ago, I guess. Although the location at that time was different, and from the time I know for sure that this is a good place to meet new people, because when I participated, I talked with a lot of different strangers who was interested in my project, or for employers who offer some jobs, and there are a lot of supplemental events are happening there. Usually, it's these events are competitions or games where different kind of people may participate and have just a great time.
Time is up. I will stop you there, and we will now continue to part 3. I will ask you some questions related to your response. Please put the note paper to the side, turn it over, the pencil as well. Okay, Ivan, that's good. So you talked about the Expo Center, which was good. All right. And you are paying attention to strategy. That's really good. So you had your first sentence ready. And when I told you your 1 minute preparation time is up, please begin speaking. You started right away. You gave me a direct answer. And then you went into talking about the description of the place, the people who go there, businessmen, tourists, students. You talked about what happens there. And a bit about your experience of what happens there. And that was fantastic. So I can tell that you're paying attention to these classes, these lessons, and I'm sure you yourself can feel that, okay, that was better. I'm improving. I'm speaking fluently. I'm getting stuck less. I'm connecting my ideas, and you're going in the right direction. Do you feel that, Ivan? Do you feel like this response was a bit better than previous part 2 responses?
Yes, but from the other hand, I had a lot of time to prepare. I just typed some helping sentences to keep the structure going.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's not as exam conditions, yeah?
Yeah, fair enough. And Ivan, the correct expression is on the other hand. It's a very common mistake, but a native ear will always catch it. It's on the other hand, okay? A lot of people make that preposition mistake. They say in or some other preposition, but it's on. It's always on the other hand. Yes, you're right. So you had more time, of course. And when anybody is practicing IELTS at home, they should start by using a lot more time to prepare for part 2. And then the more you practice, the shorter that time requirement becomes, right? So when you practice, then eventually you don't need 10 minutes. You need just 5 minutes. You need just 4 minutes. And then eventually you get it down to just 1 minute. of preparation. And in fact, Ivan, here's the good news. When you do it as much as me, you can actually go to no time. You can literally just spontaneously put together the response with the right
That's my
information
goal.
structure. Yeah, and you can reach that.
Just naturally answering questions, not use some tricks or something like that.
Exactly, and that's practice, right? So a lot of people who have jobs that are public speaking or presenting, like myself, over the course of months and years, we eventually get it to being able to just spontaneously put together the agenda and the structure in our heads, right? So it's practice, and so that's what we're doing. But it's practicing with structure, with good information, so not just randomly practicing, obviously. Okay, let me give you a band score here. So your band score for this response that you just gave me would be easily a 6.5, but I'd say closer to a 7 for sure now. So I think you're a half band better than previous. Where can you improve? So the beginning was okay. The explanation was okay. I think where this could have been better is in the activities that describe the meeting of people. So I felt like you tried to include a lot of information. It was very information heavy, but without enough detail or clarity. So it felt like you were kind of rushing to get as much or as many points in as possible. So you said, when I participated, I talked with lots of different strangers who were interested in my ideas. There were lots of employers looking for people to do jobs, and you were kind of jumping from idea to idea. Instead, really focus on the cue card. So it says meeting new people, right? So I would really pay attention to including this concept of networking, meeting, socializing, making a friend, meeting my former boss, into these contexts. So you're really emphasizing that topic of the cue card. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So for instance, when you say there are a lot of employers who are looking for people to hire, I wouldn't just quickly jump over that. I would take a moment and focus on that and say, I went to a job fair at this expo center and I applied for several companies. In fact, I met one of my former bosses there who I worked for as an English teacher for a few months, right? So you can kind of stop there and then emphasize that point. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So when you're practicing, the next time you do it, just pay attention to that. Pay attention to really like hitting the topic of the card with a few more detailed sentences. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ivan, thank you for volunteering and keep up the great work. You're absolutely headed in the right direction.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a great day, Ivan.
You too.
Bye. All right, that was Ivan. Thumbs up to Ivan. That was really good. Okay, so again, like I say, think about a few different possible answers. Sami Parno, not to be overlooked at the bottom of our list here. Sami Parno, are you ready? Okay, thumbs up to Ivan. Yes, absolutely, guys. Please do support each other. It's super important. We all put our hearts out there when we're speaking in a foreign language to the world, and it's important to give each other moral support for sure. Sami Parno. Sami Parno, it sounds like you picked it up, but I don't hear you. You might want to just check your connection. Maybe I'll circle back to you. I'll see if I can connect with somebody else in the meantime. So just check your connection, maybe refresh the page, okay? All right, let's give Phuong a chance. I think she hasn't spoken a little bit. Phuong, are you ready? Hopefully we can make a good connection with you. And hopefully the traffic isn't crazy loud. Hi, Phuong.
Hi, sir. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Any special plans for New Year's?
Maybe New Year's I will have some small party with my family, sir.
Okay. Now, in Vietnam, you celebrate the Gregorian New Year, of course, and you celebrate Chinese New Year as well, right?
Yes, it's on the yeah, it's 1 month later. Greece will celebrate Lunar New Year. So
Which one's the bigger party? Chinese New Year's or the Gregorian New Year's?
yes, we most important Chinese New Year. Sir.
Chinese New Year's the bigger party. That's what I thought. That would have been my guess. I was just kind of curious which one's the bigger party in Vietnam. Okay, Phuong, are you ready for this cue card?
Yes, sir. Ready.
All right, let's do it. So, talk about where it is good to meet new people. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
My university campus, Foreign Place University, is definitely an ideal place to meet new people. It's located in the heart of Ho Chi Minh City, approximately 5,000 square meters, which has 20,000 students per week. Due to its modern facility combined with the friendly nature surrounding, decided coming to my campus for studying purposes. 100 students may join many clubs which are organized in the schoolyard every day, like dancing club, business ID club. That way, there's an opportunity for students to make new friends. Moreover, students can have a chance to sit comfortably at a table with the breathtaking view of the city while spilling the tea with their cohort or striking up conversation with new cohorts in a formal atmosphere. The reasons why it is a perfect place to build relationships with new people is because of both its formal and professional atmosphere. Everyone has much in common, so uh, we can share the same interests as well as start thinking together. Every show, hundreds of foreign conversations are created and people can gain platform connections. On a closing note, I've made several of my colleagues and customers for 2 years now.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Your 2 minutes is up, and then we will now go on to part three. Phuong, fantastic. Thumbs up. That was really good. The next candidate coming after you talking about meeting new people at the university would be in trouble. So this, well, that's what I mean. Like, I think that would be easily a band 8 to 8.5 answer easily. And maybe if I don't have all that background noise and I can even hear you better, it might even be a band 9. It's a very high level answer. What I really liked about your response, Phuong, beyond your vocabulary, your structure, your detail, your narrative, all of that was really good. So it was really just a pleasure to listen to you describe your campus and how it's a great place to meet new people. Beyond that, what I felt was great was just how comfortable you felt answering this question. You didn't rush. You really took your time. Your intonation was very nice. It flowed. You used really nice connectives. So you're like, moreover, students can sit comfortably at a table, having a tea with a cohort, striking up a conversation with a cohort. You're using that new vocabulary that was in the class. You're very comfortable with it. You used a lot of well-placed idioms and expressions, like it's located in the heart of Ho Chi Minh City. It overlooks the city with a beautiful vista. So you said there's both formal and casual atmospheres, a lot of related topics of interest. So just, again, like really well connected, very comfortable, start to finish. And the next person who comes in after you and now talks about their university or their college to meet new people is going to have a really challenging time, because if the examiner is giving you an 8 or an 8.5, then somebody's going to have to do a really good job just to get a 7, right? So that's why I'm telling people, be careful what you choose. If you choose a common topic, make sure you can do a great job, because it's hard not to be compared with others in this case. So that was really great. What did you do, Phuong, to be so comfortable with this topic? Did you just practice saying this a lot before the class, or are you just having a really good day and your brain's just really on today? So you felt really comfortable today. What's your trick?
First and foremost, I am familiar with user and everyone in class, so I feel a little bit comfortable to talk about my topic. Also, you said that good note can lead to good base score, so I took notes about the play like activities or activities. When I'm looking at my notes, I can have the confidence to speak more better.
Great, great. It worked. It worked really well. So that's exactly what you want to do in your real IELTS exam. And I can tell that you're working on your pronunciation as well. It was much easier to catch a lot of your words this time. So I liked your pacing. I liked that you weren't rushing. You weren't trying. It didn't feel like you were racing with the clock. It just felt like you were speaking to answer this question, but not racing against the 2-minute time limit. So that was really nice. Good job, Phuong. Keep it up.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and have a great New Year's, Phuong. Bye for now.
Wish you a happy new year, sir, and hope the start of New Year's will bring you good fortune and great luck. Yeah.
Thanks, Phuong. Bye for now.
Bye bye, sir.
All right. Yeah, that was really good. I think everybody listening would agree that that was, even though, we had some background noise there, just a very clear, well-structured, confident response. And that's with great vocabulary, great connectives. That's exactly what the examiners are listening for. Just a solid, all-around, comfortable answer. Common topic, university, a place to meet new people, but when you do a great job with it, you're gonna get a good mark. Okay. All right, let's take a person who we may not have spoken to in the past. Let's see if Jamil is here. Jamil, are you ready? Sure. Let's see if we can reach out to Jamil here. Jamil is neither a premium student nor is Jamil a member. I'm not sure. Maybe we might find out different, but let's give Jamil a chance.
Hello.
Hi, Jamil.
Hi, Mr. Adrian. How are you?
I'm doing great. Jamil, is this your first time volunteering?
Yes, it is my first time that I am volunteering in your live video in YouTube.
Awesome. Just before the New Year's. Good for you. Making a positive, finishing the year strong. Jamil, where are you?
I am from Azerbaijan. Now I am in Baku, which is the capital of Azerbaijan.
In Baku, Azerbaijan. Awesome. Okay. And have you done the IELTS before?
Not yet. I have also a question to you. If you allow me, I would like to ask.
Sure. Yeah, fire away.
Sometimes I am having stuttering in my speech. Would that be an obstacle for me in the speaking exam?
Yes. The quick, clear answer is yes, it is. But it's good that you asked me. When you register for your IELTS, there's a special place in the registration form where it asks the candidate if you have any kind of speech or learning disability, and you can indicate it there. You do need a doctor's note or a note from a professional that's like a speech pathologist that says, this individual does have a minor stuttering issue, so allow them extra time to answer questions. And then what happens is the examiner knows that this is a speech impediment, and they will give you a bit of extra time to answer. So instead of, for example, in this way, instead of giving 12 to 15 minutes for your interview, they'll give your interview 15 to 20 minutes, which is very valuable. Okay, so you don't want to be shy about that. If you have stuttering or stammering or any kind of speech impediment, you need to indicate that on your registration form when you're registering for the IELTS, okay? And then you will have to submit an expert's opinion as well, and then they'll give you that extra time, and you should do that. I recommend doing that, okay?
All right, thank you. Thank you. I also thank you for your extent answer. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. And just one quick more sentence for that. If anybody has dyslexia, like you accidentally turn your B's into D's, it's very common where people write a B instead of a D or a D instead of a B. Again, you need to indicate that on your registration. Like I have numerical dyslexia or some kind of learning disability, then they will take that into consideration when they evaluate your score. It's absolutely normal. Almost half of the population has some form of speech impediment or learning disability, so it's nothing to be embarrassed about, but it's important to note that so that they can include that in their estimations. Okay?
All right, thank you very much.
All right, Jamil, with that question answered, are you ready to answer this cue card?
Yes, I hope I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Okay, I'll start you off. So talk about where it is good to meet new people. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
I want to speak about a place which is in Baku, Fountain Square. It is very famous place in Baku. It's actually a street. Many people go through there. It is actually a combination of new and old Baku. We can see many new buildings, modern buildings, contemporary buildings, and also in ancient buildings of Baku. It is one of the main streets in Baku, and many people we can say from all generations there. There are also restaurants and there are also restaurants and shopping places there, and also in this New Year time. There is an expo there which is called Cold Hands in Azerbaijan. It is Soyug Eller, which means in English it is cold hands, and in this time if we go there we can see many new people.
Okay, your time is up. I will stop you there.
Thank you.
We will now continue to part 3. All right. Yes. Okay. Great. So again, the difference is instead of stopping you at 2 minutes, I might give you 3 minutes, and then that allows you to push past some of that stuttering, stammering, and I can just focus in. So what the examiner does in this case, like myself here, is we just ignore the repetitive words. So obviously, there are lots of words that you continuously repeat to push yourself forward in your sentence, and it's fine. I just take the phrase once only and then consider that to be a part of the sentence, because I know it's indicated that you have this speech impediment, and it's totally okay. And again, like I say, instead of 2 minutes, I'll give you 3 minutes to answer the question.
Understand.
So that doesn't affect your mark. Okay, now your mark here would be about a band 6 to 6.5. And the reason being is, although you have some fluency, so you're giving me some of the right ideas, you're describing this place, so I understand that it's in Baku, it's called Fountain Square, it's a combination of old and new, so you just described that nicely. You said it's on one of the main streets, the older generations go there. The reason I'm not able to give you a score like a band 7, which would be considered a good response or good English communication, is because I didn't feel that you had enough content on the actual topic of meeting people there. So at the very end, you told me that there's an expo and this is a great time when we see new people. I think that should have come earlier in your answer and then focused more on why that's a good time, because there are thousands of people from all around Azerbaijan. Everybody is really excited about the new year and very chatty, likes to talk about what their plans are for the next year, and then maybe include a little bit of your experience. Like last year I went to this expo and I met 2 new friends, right? So more focus on actually meeting people there. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yes, I totally understand you.
Okay, so when you're giving your answer, really focus on that topic. I think I said this to Ivan as well, the actual like meeting or networking. So what you want to do is you want to take out that word meet, okay? And then think about ways that you can say that word. So what's another way to say meet?
I'm sorry, I couldn't catch you.
What's another way to say meet, like meet a person?
Meet up or come across, we can say.
Yeah, you can come across means to encounter, right? That's another way.
Yes.
Encounter, yes. What's another way?
Just see or
Mm-hmm.
well, that's nothing.
I'm gonna give you some hints.
Interpret or
Interact,
interact. Yes,
right?
yes,
Converse,
yes.
network, right? Greet,
Yes,
make
yes,
friends, right?
yes,
So when you see the cue card, try to think about, and this is where taking some notes is a good idea. Okay, I'm going to have to really focus on meeting new people. So come across, interact, see, converse, network, greet, make friends, and then try to make as many sentences as possible using these words so that you really focus on the topic of the cue card. Does that make sense?
yes.
Okay.
Totally.
Yeah, so Jamil, when you practice this answer again at home, try
Mhm.
to give a 2-minute response where you use up as many of these words as you can in your answer. Okay?
Like paraphrasing.
Yeah, like let me give you an example of it real quick. So saying something like, and this New Year time, there's an expo called Cold Hands. I can see new people. In fact, I interacted with at least 5 strangers during last year's expo. I had a chance to greet the mayor of the city in person, which was really exciting. And
Yes.
I came across an interesting vendor who sold me a mug of beer, right? So do you get
Yes.
it? So see how I'm taking those words and I'm thinking of how I can put those into that sentence to really emphasize the card of meeting people.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's what you want to practice. Got it?
Thank you. Thank you. I totally appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. Jamil, have a great day and keep coming back and
Thank
keep
you.
practicing, okay?
Yeah. And also happy holidays to you and to all your subscribers.
Thank you, and a happy New Year's to you too, Jamil. Bye for
Thank
now.
you. Bye. Bye.
All right, that was Jamil. Let's give Jamil a thumbs up. Not only is it stressful when we're volunteering to speak in another language, but when we do it and we have additional challenges like Jamil had, then it can be even more. So big thumbs up for Jamil. Great work there. Everybody, this chat is for you to interact with each other. So Anna, Juan, I know you didn't get a chance right now. You can talk to each other in the next little bit. And speaking part 3 is coming up, everybody. So those who didn't get a chance, I will be looking for you. Somi Parno, I can see you're back in action. So I will be looking for you. Everybody, the next live class is on the website in your My Student account. It's this blue button that's kind of, I think, hidden maybe a little bit behind my head there. But it's the, it's just right behind me there. It's the Join Live Class. So in the My Student account, in 30 minutes, when you click on that button, it will come to life. And I will be there in a live class to continue with speaking part 3. Everybody who's enjoying this live class, sign up for the premium version of the course. Start the new year strong, right? Give yourself a treat for the new year. Get yourself some great learning material. Go to aehelp.com, click on the big red button that's right there. Join the premium version of the course. For general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. Click there. A great way to begin your new year's with good materials, good learning. Students, I'm back in half an hour with speaking part 3 on the website at aehelp.com, not on YouTube, but on the website. And it has been a pleasure hearing you and teaching you in this class. I hope that after a short break, stretch your legs, get yourself a glass of water, hydrate, maybe get some food if you're hungry. You're back here with me. Again, that will be on aehelp.com. Also, for general IELTS students, check out gieltshelp.com. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from Victoria. For those of you who have other places to be and will not be in the next class, have an amazing last couple days and a very, very happy, safe, and productive New Year's to all of you. I'm Adrian, signing out. See you shortly. Bye for now.